You know, usually I'm not a big fan of flashback episodes. Something about them I'm always just like, can we get a move on? This was legitimately very fascinating, then had a crazy, shocking moment at the end, and we will get to it. But first, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly Attack on Titan Season 4, the final season, discussion videos. Today we're talking all about Episode 3, The Door of Hope. But before we get into it, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet, to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AniTube know that you're here. We're trying to hit 25k before the end of the year. It's gonna be close, but I feel like we can do it, so if you haven't hit that sub button yet, do so. It'd be a big help. And with that said, what do you say we go ahead and we transform into our Titan forms and, you know, jump into this week's episode. I could have done that segue better, but I'm gonna stick with it anyway. Deal with it. Okay, so Reiner's past. I'll admit that when the episode began, for some reason I thought Reiner was Falco, like just a younger Falco. I was like, is Reiner supposed to be Falco? Or is this character supposed to be Falco? Like, I thought it was Falco's dad, who was a Marleyan for a second. I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, oh, no, wait, we're in Reiner's flashback. Okay, it's Reiner. And it's really hitting home how similar Falco and Reiner look and act and, like, everything about them. Like, that must be why Reiner is so, like, glued to Falco, where he's like, you were me, but you were, like, the child me that like, existed before everything happened on Paradise Island. Like, you're me before that. It's probably why he's so glued to him. And it's interesting too because the whole father thing plays into Reiner's reason for going to Paradise in the first place, and kind of is the big catalyst for everything that follows. Reiner's dad was a Marleyan, his mom is obviously an Eldian, and he really wanted to become an honorary Marleyan for the sheer fact that it would bring his family back together. And that is really sad. like there's something about that just makes me really upset, and like in a good way, you know, where it's like, that's so sad that like Reiner just wanted his family to be whole. And like, we'll jump ahead a bit, and by the time he finally does meet his old man, the dude's a real dick. Like, he's just a total asshole for like no reason. And you know, like, it's reaching to the point where it's reaching out to the audience, I think, to tell them, like, listen, just because they become honorary Marleyans, just because they're like serving Marley, even, and like trying to repent for something that is like beyond their control, just the way that they were born, the people who they are, like trying to repent for that, even then the Marleyans still don't see them as equals. And the fact that Reiner's dad outright rejects him and says, like, you're gonna ruin everything, I'll just hang myself and be rid of you and your Eldian mom, get away from me, you devils, and stuff like that. And it's like, Jesus, man. Like, Isayama is hitting Horde this arc, and I thought he was hitting Horde in season 3 parts 1 and 2, but no, he is hitting Horde with the writing this season. And we're only 3 episodes in, I'm already like, damn, Isayama, I can't believe you went there. There's something even darker that happens that we will talk about as we go, but Reiner as the focal point of this week's episode, just everything about it, it's like, Reiner, I didn't realize how bad you had it, my dude. Like, I didn't realize. It's funny, like, seeing it, like, play out and seeing how the past led up to the Reiner that we know. And I was literally talking about this with Katie the other day, about Reiner and Bert, like, revealing to Eren that, like, everything that happened, and Bert being like, Reiner, what the hell are you doing? And just Reiner, like, slipping, you know, like, slowly seeing Reiner slip and, like, lose control of himself. And it's not so much that he was slipping as much as, like, the original Reiner personality was coming back in, like, it was like booting back up slowly over time. And that's because he started to see these people as friends, you know, so he could stop being Marcel and start becoming Reiner again. But it all stems from, like, everything stems from him wanting to become an honorary Marleyan, you know, like wanting to serve Marley and get vengeance on the devils on Paradise Island and stuff like that. The fact that Reiner allowed himself to become so brainwashed And I will say Galliard is a dick, right? What is it? Porco Galliard. Like he's a dick, but like his brother's great, but he's a dick. But at least he wasn't really buying a lot of like the Marleyans crap, whereas Reiner full-heartedly believed it. I think just because he was a boy and wanted his dad, you know, and it really breaks my heart. But I do want to talk a little bit about Reiner's time as a warrior, which, oh my god, I'm just thinking about the fact that there's an episode called Warrior, like way back when, and I'm pretty sure it's Reiner focused. Wow. Wow. That's kind of amazing. That's actually kind of amazing. The foresight in this series. The foresight is intense. So one of the things that we see in this sort of flashback with Reiner as a kid, during his time as like a warrior, is seeing how Reiner was actually the worst of the bunch, which is kind of insane the more I think about it, because the Reiner that I know is like a stone cold badass, you know what I mean? Like he's like crazy built, he's super stern, he was like the Steve Rogers of the group, you know? He was this jacked up dude who was a badass but was like kind and helped out others and all this stuff. So to see him so low, you know, like Reiner really is like warped Captain America to an extent, right? Like he's just like, when he starts out, he's this like scrawny kid who gets picked on by Galliard and all this crap, and I know both of the brothers are Galliard, but like when I say Galliard, know that I'm talking about the one who's still alive, not Marcel. But like Galliard picking on Reiner and Bert trying to stick up for Reiner, which is crazy to me because I like Bert sticking up for Reiner is hilarious. Just because I'm like, Bert, you have a backbone? My God, where did it go? By the time he showed up in the present. Yeah, if y'all didn't know, Bert was my least favorite of the 104. I don't know why I dislike Bert as much as I do, but like I was just like, Bert is just a tool. I just never liked Bert. So seeing him again, I'm like, go away. You know who I was happy to see though? Annie. And Annie kicked the living shit out of Reiner, didn't she? But before that, I like that scene of Reiner, like, you know, like trying to pick himself back up. We see him like crying, and Zeke even saying like, don't cry for too long, otherwise I'll get like in trouble with the higher up. So like this is clearly like a regular thing. And when Bert's trying to help out Reiner as he's like trying to pick himself back up, they talked to Annie, and Annie was like not listening and instead was stomping on a grasshopper, it looked like, which like foreshadowing, but also yikes, like big yikes. That was really unsettling. And it's just everything about Reiner in the past, like thinking, like he really thought he was gonna save the world and everything. Like he really believed in his heart that what he was doing was right. You know, like he really believed that. I don't know if he still believes that anymore. He might. I don't know if he does. Like the Reiner that we see here, like this kid Reiner who's like crying in the dirt, versus the Reiner that we see now, broken, but like a man, but totally broken, is like they're not the same dude. And I don't know if Reiner full-heartedly believes in what he's doing anymore. And I think that that's probably the most interesting topic for discussion, is just like, does Reiner still believe in what he's doing? I think the programming's too deep, you know? Like we saw him last week try to think of bad things to say, and all he could say was that Sasha didn't share her potato. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't think of anything really bad to say about these people. And it's just funny to think about what Annie says to him, where it's like, you guys were off playing with your friends while I was dealing with, like, while I was running through trying to find some answers to things. And Reiner fires back with, they're not my friends, they're devils. And Annie just says, I'm gonna barf. Because even Annie's like, bullshit. Like, they became your friends over time. So you can believe that, but it ain't true. And Annie's right. Like, I do wonder if this kid version of Reiner would even recognize who he is years later. You know, and I don't just mean in terms of physicality, because obviously Reiner is a total badass now and looks way different, but like it's just like, would they even recognize each other's morals? Like, would they even recognize each other's ideals and personality? I really don't think so. And I just find that so interesting. And it's one of the things about the series that I love is how much all these characters have grown over time. It's insane, right? Like, even I think the only one who I'm looking at, like objectively looking at, the only characters who haven't really changed from the original Warriors group, not the one that we have now, I actually love them. Like, I remember people saying, like, I don't want to follow these new characters. I love them. I love Falco, Udo. I'm a little torn on Gabby. Sometimes I like her. Other times I'm like, okay, she's kind of loud and obnoxious, but like that's kind of the fun. But I do love, like, specifically Udo, Falco, and Colt. Zofia and Gabby, I feel like I like Gabby just fine. Like, sometimes she's kind of annoying, but that's kind of her charm. Zofia I need to see a little bit more from. But like all of them plus Zeke, like, I do like the current Warriors, but these ones, of the Warriors that I'm seeing currently, I think the only one that didn't really change much was either Galliard or Annie. Like, Galliard is a dick from beginning to end. Annie, well, Annie, and I'm gonna throw up the screenshot now. Annie fighting Kenny was dope. Annie versus Kenny. Annie doesn't really change, and I don't mean that as a negative. I don't like a character changing doesn't necessarily mean that they haven't developed, you know what I mean? It's just like, in terms of like, are they a different person from point A to point B? A lot of characters aren't a different person from point A to point B, but still develop as characters. I feel like Galliard we just haven't seen enough of just yet, but Annie we have, right? We had a whole season with Annie, and seeing Annie again was a pleasant reminder that Annie takes shit from nobody. Like, Annie whooped ass, like, this entire time that she was here. Whether it was Reiner or Kenny, Annie delivered an ass kicking where need be. And yeah, Reiner did get the better of her. I thought, like, if I didn't know that she was going to be okay, it would have looked like he killed her. You know what I mean? Like, when he's choking her out, like, and that's another great scene. We'll get to it. But Annie is, like, almost pushing Reiner without meaning to into becoming a better warrior, right? And Bert is just like, I had a dream the other night, and don't fight, guys. And I'm like, Bert, shut up. Just be quiet, Bert. Just be in the background. Just be in the background, Bert. Just nobody cares, Bert. Nobody cares. But like, and I don't care. I'm sure a lot of people like Bert. I'm not a big Bert guy. But like, Annie pushing the other two into becoming warriors, I think is kind of neat and says a lot about her character. And even though I don't think she changed much from the time we saw her, I should note that as much as Annie says, like your friends, I will not forget that she let Armin go. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think Armin should either. Like, Annie could have killed Armin way back when, but she didn't. You know what I mean? Like, Annie, as much as she gives Reiner shit, definitely cared to some extent. I should probably talk about the screenshot that's on screen. Kenny versus Annie was something I did not expect. I knew Kenny was going to be in this episode. I'll admit I'm a little bummed that he wasn't in more of the episode because I love Kenny, but like, I'll deal with it, I guess. But yeah, Kenny versus Annie was, that was pretty sick. I wanted more of it when she's like, come on, Papa, it's me. Like, you, like, blah, blah, blah. You're so mean, Papa. And like, kicks at him so hard she breaks a brick wall behind him, which is like, holy shit. And even Kenny's like, oh, okay, so we're in a rebellious phase, are we? It's like, ah, cool. I would have loved to have seen more of Kenny. I hope we see more of Kenny. I don't know if we will. Remember, manga fans, listen to me, manga fans. You know better by now. I don't really gotta tell you guys, but remember, don't tell me what happens. Don't even put a read more. Just laughs in manga, and the other manga fans will know. That's all you gotta do. Asterix, laughs in manga, asterix. That's all you gotta do. Don't be saying nothing else. The comment section is for anime onlys, but if you know manga stuff and you want to say something, just asterix, laughs in manga, asterix. That's all you gotta say. Don't tell me if we get more of Kenny. Let me say that out loud and ponder whether or not we're gonna get more Kenny. Don't actually tell me, because I don't want to know. Like, but I hope we do. Like, I really hope we do, because I friggin' love Kenny. But yeah, everything to do with Reiner and Annie was dope. But I think the most surprising thing to me, and I'm gonna keep the Kenny versus Annie screenshot up, because there is no shot I can show this in a YouTube video without getting the old yellow $sign. There's no chance I can show this, but Reiner, like, seeing himself in Eren and being there for him and believing in him, like, all that stuff with Eren, you know, like, that to me tells me that Reiner clearly cared, you know, like, Reiner very clearly cared about Eren, saw Eren as his younger self, you know, he saw a little piece of himself in Eren, and he wanted to help Eren, and he knows that betraying him was wrong. So suddenly there's a gun in Reiner's mouth, and yeah, that was a friggin' shock. I remember seeing a shot like that in the PV and thinking like, okay, there's no way he's just trying to off himself, so he must be like captured and he's trying to like not reveal secrets. No, Reiner really was like about to just like end it, and holy crap. Thankfully, he's saved by Falco, which was a huge relief, but that does lead us nicely into talking about the other character that I want to talk about this week. So let's go ahead and throw that screenshot up, shall we? And yep, there's the boy. When I tell you that I screamed, words cannot express how loud I screamed, right? Because thank God this wasn't spoiled for me. This was such a fun surprise. Eren is there. Eren's the soldier that Falco helped. Like, I think this was like last week. He's the soldier that Falco helped out. And either last week or the week before, people were like, "Didn't you recognize Jean?" And I was like, "That was Jean?" Like that Jean was there. I'm like, "Jean's there? How was Jean there? Like, what the hell, Jean?" Like, if you didn't know, Jean's like my favorite character. So I was like, "Jean's there? Where? I didn't even recognize him. Like, when did Jean become hot? I don't understand." And so I'm shocked that people told me that Jean was there, but not Eren. Thank you, manga fans. Y'all were real ones this week, and you did not tell me things. I will say, a lot of people were saying that Titan fans were spoiling stuff. I would argue Jujutsu Kaisen fans have tried to spoil me more than Titan fans. Titan fans seem to be like, nobody say anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Titan fans have been like, everybody shut up, let the anime onlys enjoy. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. You love to see when manga fans are like, all right, let them see. Let them be hype. You know what I mean? You love that. And I lost my shit when I saw Eren. I was so hyped because, like, the fact that Falco, that dude was Eren, I had no idea. Like, I had no idea. I was so hyped. That was so cool. I'm trying to be like professional YouTube guy and, like, you know, like do the episode thoughts on the episode properly. But man, I just got to gush. Like, that was so sick. Because as I'm watching him, right, because he has this excellent anti-war speech, and I was like, hell yeah, dude. Preach louder, Eren, for the people in the back who still think that this show is like pro-war and all that stuff. Like, say it louder for the people in the back. And like that line of like, is it hope at the end of the tunnel? Is it another hell? Only those who keep moving forward will ever know. And just him saying like, war is hell, and if people could see the aftermath, they would never go to war. And it's like, god damn. But as he sang the speech, I'm like, this dude sounds familiar. You know what I mean? Like, I tweeted this. I was like, this man sounds really familiar. Oh my god! Like, it clicked that I'm like, is that Eren? That sounds like Yuki Kaji. Like, right? So I'm like, is that Eren? Right? Like, I'm sitting there like, that's gotta be Eren. And then when you see the face and it's Eren just with this crazy long hair, and I'm like, bro, what the hell is happening? And then the PV has the line, as the festival enlivens the city, an unexpected surprise awaits Reiner. I just got chills saying that because I'm like, yo, you know Falco's gonna be like, hey Reiner, there's this guy, he wants to meet you, blah blah blah, and it's gonna be Eren, and maybe Jean, because we know Jean's there, so maybe it's gonna be Eren and Jean, and they're gonna be like, Reiner, what the fuck? Like, Reiner, we found you. Like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I'm so excited. This season is so... I was so concerned that Mappa was gonna botch it. I was so wrong to be concerned. Like, because again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. At the end of the day, this season for me, it's not even really about the animation. It's about the plot. I want to know how this story wraps up. But if I can get some Wit-style Titan fights, I will happily take it. And that Titan fight we get this week is pretty damn great. Like, seeing the former warriors, like, rip apart that city. Is it horrifying? Yes. But did it look visually stunning? Hell yeah, it did. And my God, this season is fire! It is so good! Okay. I gotta stop talking. That was really all over the place by the end. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, hit that sub button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, and let all of AniTube know that you're here. Remember, we're trying to hit 25K before the end of the year. It's gonna be close, but I feel like we can do it. So, if you haven't hit that sub button yet, do that. It'd be really appreciated. And before we go, as always, I want to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names. And hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are 2 ways to do so. The first is by hitting that Patreon link in the description, and the second is by hitting that join button right beside the sub button to get a badge next to your name, some emotes to spam in the comments, and of course, your name scrolling past the screen here. So, if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and hit that join button, or check out the Patreon link. Either way, it is super appreciated. So once again, a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron, and that is it for me. I am still hyped, so I'm gonna go try to calm down, and until next time, you stay classy, AniTube. You wash your dang hands.